Hey guys, Sandy here, and I am back with a video using my Secret Not Secret kit for the month of November. Now remember, I get my kits at the end of the month, so my November kit I get at the end of November, and I scrap with it all through December. And scrapping with it into January this time because Christmas. So this is a sheet of white basil cardstock. It is smooth cardstock, and I gessoed it, and then I had let it completely dry. And now I'm just using some distress ink, and I'm kind of using the packaging technique, kind of using my sponge dauber. I'm just like making some messiness all the way around the page. I definitely want the color to be outside of the, oh shoot, what is this thing even called? It's like a pre-made cut file that you buy. It's from Kaisercraft. It came in my kit. I also got some paint, some heavy body acrylic paint in sterling, and a brushed pewter distress crayon, and I really like how this turns out. Like, I really just like it. And the video is going to be a little bit long. I apologize in advance for that. I cut down a whole bunch of it. So we'll see. So I'm using 3 different colors here. I'm using, what am I using? I think I'm using Salty Ocean, Chipped Sapphire, and I believe that's Weathered Wood. I want to say that's Weathered Wood. Because it was the closest color to the Kaisercraft die cut there. Now I really want it to have a mix of these blue colors because I'm scrapbooking the Disney castle. Big surprise, I'm doing something Disney. And I want the blues to kind of like come out and pop at you. I don't know why I just mixed that color on the palette instead of on top of the packaging that I had pulled out, but I did. I guess I just figured the palette was there, so I might as well make some magic happen. I'm just drying this off a little with the paper towel. I could have let it dry on its own or even helped it out with my heat gun and probably would have had a little bit of a richer color, but honestly, I love the way it turned out, so I'm okay with that. So now what I'm doing is deciding what I want to do. I know that I'm going to be filling these circles, some of them with paint. I have an idea for the distress crayon, and I'm just trying to like figure out what to do. So I had to get up. I guess I could have cut a whole bunch of this out, and you guys would have had like 20 less seconds of me blathering on. So I grabbed a paintbrush, and I'm just trying to figure out where I wanted to go. So I outlined this in pencil. Now, my paper is still wet, and I was like, ooh, that's a dark pencil line. I'm going to try to erase it. And then I was like, oh, I can't erase it. So that one's definitely going to be painted. And like I said earlier, it's the heavy body acrylic paint in sterling, and I really like it. It does a great, it's like a thick, opaque silver paint, and it covers beautifully and it looks great, and I am super pleased with this, like super pleased with it. And I'm like, yeah, let's do this, let's add some more. And I kind of like got lost in the joy of just brushing on this paint. Like, it was just so fun to play with. I mean, look at it. I mean, I'm mesmerized right now watching me do this. And there's no like awesome paint technique or anything going on or great brush strokes, but look at that. It's just cool. And I'm just figuring out where it's going to go, make sure that I've covered enough of the paper so that there isn't a gap when I put that die cut, that big die cut from Kaisercraft back on there. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to add more. I like this silver, and it's going all over the page. Now, if I really want, like this layout does not turn out to be perfect. I mean, let's face it, I could have let each one dry and done this perfectly, but I didn't. I did it all while it was wet. Whew, had to sneeze, so we ended that real quick. Okay, so now I'm just trimming the castle photo, and I just kind of outline it with my mechanical pencil, and you don't really see it. Like, I don't even see the line. I have to go back in and redo it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it here. This'll work. This'll work well. So I get that on there, and then I'm just going to trim around the photo, and I printed out the photo at 4x4 approximately, so that it would fit inside this big circle. And I'm like, yes, I like the way this looks. I do trim it a little small, so I use this little dot runner and put it on the outside or the reverse side, just so I can get my photo placed. And it takes me a minute to get it done, but it does get done. And I can already tell that I am going to love this. Do you guys do that? You're working on a layout and it's coming together. It's not even close to being finished, but you're like, yeah, this is going to be a good one. I'm going to love this one. And that's this one. And my husband loves it too, so that's always a plus. I mean, he even mentioned today how much he liked it after I had showed it to him yesterday. So that's always good, right? Validation from your family. Okay, so I cut out me doing some punching out and stuff. Now, I thought I was going to have Let's Go and then this little chipboard that says My Happy Place that had come in a Citrus Twist kit. And the Let's Go, I believe, came from, oh shoot, it either came from Ellie Studio or Cheeky Studio. I don't remember which one. And I thought that is what I was going to do. However, I'm going to do this awesome treatment to the Let's Go, and it ends up not even making it onto the page. What I am going to do is take this other photo that I have of the castle that was taken at night, and I'm going to cut out another section of it so that it can fill another one of those circles. And then what I'm going to do is punch out with my Creative Memories Circle Punch another piece of that photo of the castle at night and put it in another one of the circles here. When I originally started this, I was thinking that I would have this mixed media background, like in the background. You do the technique I wanted to try with the distress crayon, and then have, and I put it on crooked. Did you see that? I have to fix it. So then, the technique I was going to want it to do with the distress crayon, and then I would fill all the circles with patterned paper. Like that was what I envisioned, and that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all. But I like the result. Like, I like what I came up with. So how many times have I said that? Like 14 already. I like this layout. You're like, shut up, Sandy. We get it. You like it. So. And I'm like, is there any more? Can I punch out any more? And I say, no, I can't punch out anymore. So I throw that into the trash. And interestingly enough, I got new lights for Christmas. They probably aren't positioned exactly correctly. They're actually kind of crooked, and they're not, I'm looking up at them right now. They aren't positioned correctly, but you can totally see them in the reflection in the palette. Now this is a die cut from somebody. I don't know who it came from. I bought it at a scrapbooking store. And I didn't know. I was like, is this too much castle? And you know what? No, it's not too much castle. It just isn't. So I drew a circle around the large circle. Now this is what I wanted to do with the distress crayon. So I knew that if I had done this with the gelato, and then like the color would have muddied and mixed. So what I did was I grabbed a Tim Holtz stencil, and I'm using that crayon to color in the stencil. And I do use a lot of the crayon for this process, but you know what? I'm cool with it because I love it. You bet you knew I was getting ready to say I loved it, didn't you? Okay, so I'm smudging in the crayon and then using my finger to like really get it in and spread it around. And I do this for the whole circle. There are some places where I kind of mess up and the crayon goes underneath of the stencil, or you know, I bend the stencil a little bit and the crayon gets under there, but it happens. So then I have stenciled it all the way in, and what I'm going to do is create a mask. So I created a mask just using a piece of paper, cut out a circle. That's basically all I did. I'm just going to washi tape this down, and then I'm going to use that chipped sapphire distress ink, and I'm going to ink right on over that crayon. And the crayon is awesome because it's dry. Like I let it dry for a while and then I heat dried it. So it's not going to smudge out. Like it's going to stay in its state, and that is so awesome to me. Because if I did this with like a gelato, it would like turn into one big glooby mess, and nobody wants a glooby mess on their scrapbook page. So I am super happy with this. I'm so stoked that it turned out. Like I love the way it looks. And then I just take my paper towel and I'm just kind of getting the distress ink that's sitting on top of the crayon off. And I use my water bottle, and I do some fine mists, and then I do like some globs, and look how much that, like how much it reacted. I forgot that I had gessoed this, so I mean it reacted huge and took out the color down to the gesso paper. So I did add a little bit of ink back in there because I didn't want it to be white. Like I didn't mind the light blue of it showing through, but I didn't want it to be white. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cool? Okay. So I'm totally loving this. It's totally turning out. It's exciting me. Like I'm super happy that this is the way it's going. So now what I'm going to do is take some more of that paper and fill in some more of the circles. But first what I'm going to do is fill in this circle with vellum that my title's going to go on, because I wanted you to be able to see through it. I wanted you to be able to see the ink. But I wanted to tone it down just a little bit, and I figured putting the vellum on there would do it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to punch out more of that shiny blue paper, and which is over top of the castle, the daytime castle, and put those in there. Alright, so we're going to get that positioned, and I'm like, yes, it's turning out so well. So now I grab my blue box of metal embellishments and my silver box of metal embellishments because I'm working with blue and silver. Like, you're like, duh, Sandy, we know this. So what I'm going to do is take this, what is this? Martha Stewart craft paint, and it's really glittery, and I got this in a previous Secret Not Secret Kit Club kit, and I am just globbing it on there, and I'm globbing it on pretty thickly. And this is my glitter paint brush. So when I was like flicking the brush right there, right before I started painting, I was flicking out glitter. So this is the brush I use when I use glitter paint, because I can never get the glitter all out of the brush. Like it's still there. It still lives there. So I'm just, like I said, I'm more kind of dabbing it on than brushing it on, because the brushing it on, it goes on really thinly, and while that might be a look for a certain time, this isn't the look I'm going for. I want like this purple glitter to be everywhere. And I'm thinking that the purple is a good match for the page because some of that distress ink in the background looks a little violet. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is going to work. This is going to be, excuse me, this is going to be great. And I do like the look of it. Like, I think it's good. Like, obviously I like the look of it or I wouldn't be doing it. Because I have another glitter word that I had painted when I was trying out this glitter paint that I just haven't used yet. Okay, so I'm just brushing out my brush a little bit. I'm going to set that aside to dry for a while. And now I'm going to put some more fun stuff on this page. So I'm adding adhesive all over the back of this big old die cut so that I can place it on the page and it'll be stuck down for good. And I'm using my ATG for this. I thought about using some liquid glue, but honestly, I'm really comfortable with my ATG. Like, it's definitely my go-to adhesive, so I went with it. Look at that, it's looking so cool. Okay, yay! So I'm just pushing it down and flattening it on this side because I was afraid if I did that on the other side, I would tear the die cut, and I definitely did not want to do that. And then I have to take a minute to wipe it down. Why it was so important to do it right then, I could not tell you the reason, but there it is. All right, I was showing you I had glitter all over my hands. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is dig through. Oh, I'm not digging through yet. Okay, so I had this idea to put sequins in the circles, and I went ahead and added some glue to the circle, and I'm using liquid glue for this because I thought that it would be easier. So I get my liquid glue in there, and I'm just completely filling in the circle. And the first way I try to put my sequins in, not right. It's not good. It is not good, guys. It doesn't look nice. So I eyeball the center of the circle, and then I just start putting in the sequins. And I'm going, for some reason, I'm in a circle, but I'm going in a cross pattern. And then I realize that this is not looking like I envisioned it in my head. It's kind of looking kind of junk. I'm like, no. This is not how I want it to look. I'm not happy with this. But I keep going until I eventually go, no. And then I'm going to pull all the sequins off. Because, yeah. And I'm like, no. So I grab a piece of scrap paper and just pull the sequins off of there. I grab the liquid glue again, and I add plenty more liquid glue. And this time, I do it the right way. This time, I make sure I have enough glue all the way around and that it is completely wet. And I'm just using my finger even more to smooth it out. And now I'm going to take those sequins and I'm going to start on the outside of the circle, and I am going to go all the way around the circle. And now it looks like a circle. It doesn't look like some weird thing that I had put together. Now I do have to adjust them ever so slightly, just a little bit, because this is the first time I'm doing it. I didn't do a dry run. That probably would have been a smart thing to do, a dry run, but I didn't. So yay, it's a circle, and I'm just going to keep adding sequins until it fills the entire thing. I'm also going to add sequins on 2 other unfilled circles on the layout. And while I'm doing this, I am feeling all the Disney feels. Like, I'm going, dang, I want to go back. Like, I want to have those fun times with my family. I want to have those moments. And that's definitely going through my head while I'm doing this. I love it when you scrapbook and it evokes those emotional moments. Like, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes my pages, I'm just doing them to get them done and get them in the album and get that story done and document it and just moving along because it's not that great of a story or it's not that great of a photo or it really wasn't a fantastic memory, but it is something I want to document. And then sometimes you do pages where you are just like, ah, and the angels sing and the heavens light shine down and everything is feeling good and you just want to scrap this page forever. Like that's how I was feeling with this page. So what I've done is pulled out some brads. I've pulled out some really big brads and I actually pulled off the tines, which are those things right there, those little metal pieces, and I'm using pop dots so that I can just pop them on the page without having to worry about sticking the tine through. I'm also going to get a mixture of other brads, some blue and blue and blue and silver, I believe, and I'm just going to fill them in on the circles. And there is one little lonely sequin over there on that top left side, and I decide that I don't like the lonely sequin over there on the top left side, and it's actually going to turn into a brad here shortly. Okay, so I'm putting that castle on, and I'm kind of sad that I'm covering up that big, beautiful circle of fun, because that's what it is. It's a big, beautiful circle of fun. But I feel like there's enough there showing that it's worth it. Now, I pull out my push pad, and this is an old sucker. And because I'm using one kind of brad grommet silver type thing, and then I just need to push down those tines from the back so they won't like tear or rip anything. And this, on the back of this layout, I did washi tape over top of every brad and pokey thing that poked through. I do that on all of my layouts. I tape the back of whatever pokes through just because I don't want it tearing into the page behind it in the album, and it just makes me feel like safe and more comfortable. So there goes that sequin. I'm like, nope, not going to go there. What is going to go there is this harlequin patterned brad that is a dark blue and a lighter blue. And I'm just like counting to figure out how many brads I need to actually pull out. And I'm finding these guys and I'm happy. And oh, that's right, I also put in some rhinestone brads and they turned out great. And because it's just like sparkly. Like this page looks sparkly and fun, and it just evokes that happy magic feeling in me. And when you scrapbook a page like that, so scrapbooking fulfills me. It's a personal fulfillment thing. When I scrapbook a page like this, where it overflows my personal fulfillment, oh, it just feels so good. I mean, I have my layouts sitting in two piles right now. One is for my Secret Not Secret Kit Club pile, and one is for my Rediscover Your Stash pile. And this one is actually in a page protector because I wanted to protect it while all the other layouts are just piled on top of each other. So that does show how much I love this layout. And I'm really just liking it. So I decide that I'm going to go for some more distress crayon, and I'm just going to fill in this circle, and I'm going to do, I believe I do two, where there's a little circle, and I like the distress crayon silver, so I do that too. For this one, I had to pull out the brad that I put in because I couldn't lift up the die cut. So just fill that little circle in and push that brad. And here's where I popped the castle back on. It's not glued down yet. And here's where I'm getting ready. I cut this out. I'm getting ready to put my Let's Go wood veneer word with the purple glitter on it. And I end up not using that. I end up using this blue Explorer that came in a Freckled Fawn kit, and it's been months since I got this, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. I actually break the Explorer and have to put it back together with some of my dot adhesive here. I take my Tim Holtz mini stapler and staple over the fake staples on the chipboard, just to give it a little bit more silver. And that explorer goes all the way across that circle, and I'm like, yes, it looks so good. Even though it's broken, you can't really tell. Then I'm going to put that chipboard on, and that's going to finish this page. So thanks so much for watching this long video, and I hope you enjoyed this page at least half as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will catch you guys later.